So, good afternoon, everybody. So, how was the first session? Good, bad? How was the food? We like to feed you when you come to these events. We figure if you're driving all this way that you deserve to have good food. So, Jimmy. There we are. Okay, so we're going to talk about how NCAN can help with your journey. First of all, this year we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. It's hard to believe that we've been around that long. We will be having, we have five conferences, we'll be having five conferences altogether this year. And then we're having a big celebration of life in Long Island in November 11th. So if anybody wants to fly out to Long Island, come to a big bash. So NCAN was formed to help patients, and our mission is to grow net awareness, to help patients, to help medical professionals, general public, help patients and families navigate their journey. When I was diagnosed 22 years ago, there was nothing except the Carcinoid Cancer Foundation. And I'm very grateful for Dr. Warner and Monica Warner. Unfortunately, I got diagnosed on a Thursday, and they close at 4 p.m. At 4:30, I got my diagnosis. So it's the first thing you do. You go online and you start reading. The doctor had given me 5 years to live. I was a grade 2, stage 4. And so as time went on, Dr. Warner and Monica Warner kind of mentored Robert and I, and we started going out and doing these educational programs. I'm proud to say that we've done over 130 plus conferences since 2003, which is a really big accomplishment to get so many people in the room. So we're very proud of that. And so it kind of was an organic grow, meaning that Monica Warner put out my telephone number on AIM. Does anybody remember AIM on AOL? Yeah. So all of a sudden I started getting all these phone calls, and I was like, how'd you get my number? And they're like, oh, off the internet. I'm like, what? And they're like, oh yeah, Monica Warner put it up there a long time ago. It's okay. So now I'm getting calls all the time. So now we have to get another phone line because my house phone is now going crazy and my family can't reach me. So we started this foundation to help patients because I didn't have that support when I got diagnosed. And I want to make sure that the patients have their support that they need. And so we pay forward by answering the phone, sharing information, doing these conferences, recording. How many of you have gone to the website and seen the 300 plus videos on there? Anybody? Okay. These are some of the people that helped us along our way, which was Dr. Warner, Dr. Tomo DeRicio from Iowa, who passed away a couple of years ago. He was actually our very first speaker in 2003. We called him up and said, hey, we'd like to take you out to Long Island to meet some patients. What do you say? And he came out willingly. Dr. Gene Waltering, who was Mary's mentor. And then there's Dr. Bill Go and Lowell Anthony and Charlie Nutting. So we have a patient hotline, and I answer the phone 7 days a week, 365 days a year from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So if you call, 99.9% of the time you will get me on the phone. If you call and I'm not answering, I might be on the phone with somebody else, so leave a message and I will call you back. The reason why I answer the phone, or Robert answers the phone, is because unlike a lot of organizations, we don't have staff that answers the phone. When you call, I want you to have the experience of speaking to somebody that knows what you're going through. We're not going to rush you off the phone and say, hey, listen, I got 10 minutes, that's it, goodbye, and hang up. If I need to talk to you and you have a problem or an issue, I will stay on the phone with you an hour. Because I want you to have that experience, to have somebody supporting you and know that you're not alone in this journey. You could go to our website, come to the conferences. We send out free information packets. How many have signed up for their free information packet? Okay. Go online and sign up for your free information packet. We have information about all the new studies, about drugs, about all kinds of tests and things like that, what NCAN can do for you. So, and resources also for you to get financial help and things. So sign up for those. We do support group meetings. Julie is your leader in Nebraska. We were just really starting to get going and COVID hit and everything's shut down. So we're hoping to get the Nebraska group up and running. And NCAN has over 30 chapters across the country. We do awareness events. We do the conferences. And then we also do a walk. We do a virtual walk since COVID. So this way you can sign up and we send you a t-shirt, and then you find family and friends and you go to a local park and walk and just bring awareness around. And we help you advocate for you. So we want you to keep networking. Each of you is sitting next to either another patient or a caregiver. Before the end of the day, I want you to exchange your telephone number. Talk to the people next to you, because the only way you're really going to help yourself is by networking. Finding out what other people are doing for their disease helps you. I learned so much by going to support group meetings and little tricks that you wouldn't learn in a doctor's office, because a lot of the doctors only have a certain amount of time with us. A lot of our specialists are great because they do spend an hour or so with us. But how many people go to the oncologist and are in and out in 15 minutes and then get into the car and go, wow, I forgot to ask him this, I forgot to ask him that, I forgot this. So what we want you to do is to write a diary, like a week before, how many bowel movements you have, what was it like, what did you eat, things like that. Questions you have for the doctor. This way, when you go to the doctor's appointment, you're prepared, okay? And even if you only have that 15 minutes with the doctor, you could say to the nurse, hey, listen, I have these questions. I know the doctor doesn't have time right now, but could you maybe find out some answers and email me later on? And a lot of doctors will do that for you. We want you to keep learning. We want you to come to these events. We want you to watch the videos. You have to be your own advocate. And the only way you're going to do that is by finding out more information. Let's see. We want you to join support groups. And once in your lifetime, once during your diagnosis, you need to go to a NET specialist. How many here go to a NET specialist? And when I say a NET specialist, I'm not talking about a local oncologist. I'm talking about somebody that spends 75 or more time with their patients being only NET patients. That's a true NET specialist. Not an oncologist that has 30 patients. You want to go to somebody that knows and only treats NETs, because they are the ones that can do the surgery when other doctors say, no, that surgery can't be done. So that's why it's important to go to a NET specialist at least once. Get an overview of what kind of treatments are available, and then go back to your local oncologist. Our specialists are very, very special because they're willing to work with local doctors to teach them about this and to work with them so you don't have to travel all the time. I go to a doctor in Kentucky. I don't go to Kentucky every month, but I go to Kentucky. So just because you go to a NET specialist doesn't mean you have to be there every single month for your shot. Have a local oncologist and work with the NET specialist. You're not going to, yeah, okay. How many people get what they need from their doctors? Do the doctors listen to you? Are they interested in what's going on? A lot of doctors aren't. If you're not getting what you need from your doctor, you need to get rid of them. Okay? In plain English, you need to get rid of them. I have fired hundreds of doctors through the years because they all told me I was crazy, which maybe I am. I needed a marriage counselor. That for 7 years I was having diarrhea and bleeding from the rectum. I actually had the doctor actually stand there and say to Robert and I, you need to go see a marriage counselor, that's your problem. I've had them tell me that I need more fiber in my diet. I had all that, and I just kept on firing the doctors. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I wouldn't be talking to you because they were all ignoring what was going on and said it was all in my head. So if your doctor's not answering the questions that you have and not finding out exactly what's going on, you need to find a new doctor. And have your doctors. How many people send cookies, candy, and all kinds of presents to their doctor's office at Christmas time? A lot of people do. Instead of doing that, find out if your doctor is involved with NANETS. It's very easy for you to sign them up to have a membership, and this way they can go get educated and get the information. There's monthly newsletters, they have conferences around the country, they have an annual meeting, they do posters, they do all the research, and they have magazines and stuff like that that these doctors can learn. So instead of spending $50 on a candy box or cookies or something else that the doctor really doesn't need because 10,000 other patients are doing, sign them up for NANETS. NANETS is the North American Neuroendocrine Tumor Society. It's the physicians' organization. It's for physicians, PAs, nurses, and things like that. And that's really, really important. You can visit their website at nanets.net. Okay. So your NET cancer journey, we're here to support you. Whatever you need, whether it's somebody to just complain and just vent, or if you need a referral to a doctor, or anything like that, we're here for you. Okay, let me go back. Okay. There we go, okay. So what I want you to take away today is that you need to advocate for yourself. If medicine isn't working and you're still not feeling good, you have to tell your doctor. There are other options out there. So please, don't be afraid to ask the doctor. Don't go into the doctor's office and when the doctor says, how is everything? Don't say fine, because I know we all do it. I'm guilty myself. Robert will tell you I do it every single time we walk into the doctor and the doctor says, Maryann, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. And Robert's like, you're not fine. You're going to the bathroom 20 times. What are you talking about? You're not fine. So you have to be honest with your doctors, because if you don't tell them what's going on, they're not living with you. They have no way of knowing. And if you tell them, I'm fine, they're like, oh, she's doing great, no big deal. But write down if you're having a lot of flushing. Write down if you're having a lot of diarrhea. Write down if you're having a lot of cramping, because then you can have the doctor actually give you the right treatment. So if anything else you take away from today, learn to advocate for yourself. When you're out there in your bags, you have pins, NET cancer pins. Wear your NET cancer pins. If somebody asks you, what's with the zebra? Why are you wearing a NET pin? Tell them your story, because you'd be surprised how many people you might be able to save by telling them a story. Just being in the grocery store, I had a pin on, and somebody said, oh, I like your pin, da-da-da, and I told them the whole story about my zebra and everything else, and they're like, oh, you know what? I think my neighbor has that. I'll have to get her in touch with you. So networking and talking about your story is really, really important, because by you telling your story, somebody else, it might click in their head and say, oh, I have the same symptoms. Maybe I need to check it out.